Good. I hope you guys have me. How annoying. I'm like, seriously, that was a personal practical joke from YouTube just for me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I used to laugh at people on TV when I'd be like scrolling through Netflix or whatever and they would get stuck. I'm like, ha ha ha, it must suck to be in HD. And then it happens to me. So see, what goes around comes around. My jokes, the joke's on me. Okay, let's see if everyone's here. Am I frozen again? Please tell me no. Please tell me no. Please tell me no. If you get me stuck again, YouTube, I'm coming after you. You better run and hide. Okay, it's not stuck. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. So anyways, we have the Vedic chart, which I love and I want you guys to find. And that's, look at the Vaults of the Heavens, vaultsoftheheavens.com, and get your Vedic chart there. There's also another form of Vedic sidereal with the circular chart, which a lot of you guys are used to. A lot of guys are like, yeah, that's the birth chart I'm used to seeing. That has, you know, the different planets, the different degrees. I love this too. I love the circular aspect of the whole thing. I like it because it shows you where the sun is rising and where the moon is at. Rising, setting. Below and above, it shows the different aspects of the signs, what it means, all those different things. So I do like this, okay? So I'm fine with both, but if it's Vedic sidereal, it better not get stuck. If it's Vedic, you can do both. So what I wanted to kind of talk about here is the houses. Now, when you see it on the circular chart, is it getting stuck? Is it getting stuck? Because I'm seeing it. Anyways, when you have this charts, you have the first house down here, right below the horizon. Okay, right below this horizon line. And that's going to be Aries. Okay, let me get my pointer. So the first house right below the rising is Aries. Okay, then you have your Taurus, your Gemini, your Cancerian, your Leo, your Virgo, your Libra, okay, your, I can't even think right now, Scorpio, and then you have your Sagittarius, and your Capricorn, and your Aquarius, and your Pisces. Makes a full circle, okay? And that's the same thing in the Vedic chart, but it goes a different way. Aries, I numbered it differently. You see reverse, but it usually goes this way. So Taurus is here for me, but for you it would be here, okay? So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancerian, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Sticky, but what? It's sticky? You think it's my hair? Damn it. YouTube, fix it. Get it together. Upgrade. Do something. This is ridiculous. Is that better, guys? Is it better? I hope it's not staticky. Okay, so anyways, guys, we have these different houses. We have these different houses. Oh, it's better. Good. Okay, good. So I want to start talking about your rising sign. When you look on Vedic astrology, when you get your chart, because I want you guys to understand your chart, okay? This is your rising sign. That first house at the very top, the diamond at the very top, that's going to be your rising sign when you get your birth chart, okay? And this is going to be how other people see you. This is going to be how you present yourself to the world. It's frozen again. I'm going to kick someone's ass. It better not be. Anyways, my screen looks perfectly clear. If it's frozen for you guys, let me know because it looks clear on my end. Anyways, you guys have your rising sign at the very top diamond. This is going to be how other people see you, how you look. And I want to kind of talk about that because that's Aries. That's the house of Aries. And it's about the clothes you put on for the day. Not literally, but yeah. In another example, it is literally the clothes you choose to wear is seen in the first house. So the first house is, what do you like to wear? How do you like to dress? How do people see you? Do you wear a lot of makeup? Do you not wear any? Do you wear sweats out? Do you dress up and look dressed to the nine? That's about your dress, your appearance. It's also the energy of your body type. Let's say you have Jupiter in your first house. You might be a larger person. It doesn't mean you're fat. Some people, they're very, very muscular. Some people, they're very, very tall. Some people, they are a little wide. It just depends. But, Jupiter expands. Okay, it's expansion. It's big. It's the biggest planet, period. So it's, let's say you have Jupiter in the first house. It's going to affect how you dress, how you look to other people. Okay? Let's say you have Mars in the first house. That's going to talk about you being argumentative with people, bossy, domineering. If you're Aries rising, bossy, domineering, a leader. You don't take no for an answer. You tell people what to do. 9 times out of 10, you're a manager or a boss, or you have your own business. You're a general in the military. You're the general manager to some distribution company. But you're a leader, okay? So if you're Aries in the first house, you're definitely going to make an impact on people's lives as controlling, telling them what to do, how to do it. You present yourself very well, very clean cut, very put together. You care what other people think. Very passionate. You make friends really easy. You talk to a lot of people. Okay. You can walk into a room and take over the room, take over the conversation. You have no problem taking people from someone else. This is the kind of rising sign that you have no problem taking someone's spouse if you feel you deserve them. It's a very passion driven, very, what do I want? What do I desire? The Aries is like the Sagittarius. I always picture the Aries as the bow and arrow. Just like the Sagittarius, what do you want? I see what I want and I go after it and I get it and I'll take it if I have to. Aries is also the warrior. Okay. If you guys don't resonate with an Aries and you're like, but that's my sign, check your Vedic. 9.5 times out of 10, everyone's like, here's my sign. But it's tropical. And I'm like, womp, womp, let down. Tropical is really not going to talk about who you are most of the time. Vedic is. Vedic is on point. And before I move on, I want to just tell you the difference between Vedic and tropical. Okay? Vedic and tropical. Tropical is in the books. If you were to go to this store right now and say, I want zodiacs, I want to know what they mean. You're going to go buy a book at Barnes & Nobles and you're going to learn about all the zodiac signs, what they mean, what they are. Okay, so a Cancer is like this. So an Aries is like this. Okay, a Cancer is between this date and this date. Okay, so then you learn the basics. That's like kindergarten class. Think of tropical astrology, it's kindergarten class. It's 1, 2, 3, ABC. There's a lot of fine details in personality. Vedic is going to be your higher education. It's going to be your postgraduate education. It's going to be your very high college PhD education on astrology. Because they talk about the stars. Like, no. I don't want to go to Barnes & Nobles and buy a book and read about you. I want to see what's in the stars. What do the stars say about you? Where are the stars right now? What time were you born? What place? What location? It changes every 2 minutes. Your rising sign is going to change every 2 minutes. Vedic is precise. When you're like, damn. So if I was born at 8:50, but it could have been 8:52, it's going to make a big difference? Yeah, it's going to make a big difference. It's going to change your rising sign completely. Your planetary alignment completely. Well, mostly. Your sun sign will change 9 times out of 10 when you go to Vedic. Not all the time. And I'm just going to break down with Vedic real quick before I get into these things. This entire circle here has degrees. Every little house here, every little piece of pie is going to have 30 degrees. 30 degrees in each little piece of pie. I know it's not even on my drawing, but that's how Vedic astrology works. 30 degrees for each sign. That's why if you're born, let me put this here. If you're born at 12 a.m., let's just say right here, 12 a.m., then you are cusping between being a Libra and a Virgo. You're like right on the edge. I'm not exactly sure about the times, guys. I'm just giving an example. I have to really check on that time. But I'm just, the time is an example. But the explanation of when you were born, you could be cusping. This can also apply for your rising signs. If you have a rising sign and it's right between a cusping sign, you could resonate completely with another sign. My rising sign in tropical is a Capricorn, which is right here. But I was born so close to Sagittarius at my rising sign time that it's like right on the line between Capricorn and Sagittarius. And I find that I can flip-flop in the energy. I find that I am directly in the middle between being Capricorn and Sagittarius rising for either tropical or Vedic. I'm like, I am so close to one or the other. I really resonate with that. And you guys may find that with your birth times. So the circular chart can help you pinpoint how close you are, how closely related you are to each house. Your planets are going to be situated in whatever houses when you're born. You could have Sun in the 7th house, Moon in the 10th house, rising in the 4th house. You know, you could have your Saturn in the 12th house, your Venus in the 6th house. You know, the planets are going to be in different houses, and they mean different things. So your times are really important. I don't understand this chart. Don't tell your rising sign. What? I don't understand this chart. Oh, it doesn't tell your rising sign? The tropical chart? Your rising sign in a tropical chart would be directly across from your sun. So you're gonna, if you can get a ruler or a line and you see your sun, directly across from it will be your rising sign. Directly on the degrees. It's literally a 180. So rising sign and sun sign, they're always going to be like 180 from where you are. But it turns like the dial of a clock. So every 2 minutes, it's like tick, 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 tick. And it's very small notices. Very small little notices. But you can see if I had a line, well, damn. If I had a line straight across from here, the 11, let's say your sun sign is in Aquarius. Directly across, you're going to see your moon sign. Okay? And that's going to be real close to your rising sign. But your rising sign could be 5th or 4th house. It differentiates on the time of your birth. There's like 2 lines, like a minute hand and a second hand. Think of the second hand as your rising, the minute hand as your moon, and the hour hand as your sun. It's very precise, these 3 aspects. 3 aspects make you who you are, but your moon and sun are easy. Moon and sun are easy. Rising sign is pretty easy. It's difficult. I'm not going to go all into it then. Maybe I'll do a video in the future where I can show you on the screen with like visuals and you can see. But anyways, it's really important to check your chart and have your date of birth and your time of birth. It's really important. It does change every 2 minutes. Okay? So this is your tropical. It usually looks like that. You can get it in sidereal as well, shaped like this, a map like this. Okay, so that's that. I also want to mention how to read your birth chart. When you get your chart, you're not always going to have the first house right here. It turns as you're born. So it's like a snapshot. Maybe you're a rising sun. You're a Gemini sun. Okay, let's say you're a Gemini sun, then it's going to look like that. You're going to be a Cancer sun. It's going to look like that. So it changes completely based on when you're born. The situation of the houses is not the same for everybody. My first house may be on the right and your first house may be on the left. So we really follow the signs. Just think of this is your skeleton structure. Each sign is going to fluctuate based on when you were born. And if you're like, well, God, what does it mean if my Saturn's in the sign of Aries? And, you know, on your tropical chart, if it doesn't say the signs, like the Vedic chart will tell you the signs and the houses. It will show you the 7th house with the sign of Aries in the 7th house. You know what I mean? It will show you that. This tropical one's a little bit different. It doesn't show you all of that. But let's just say you have a moon in the 12th house, and you're an Aries sun. So moon would be in your 12th house if you're an Aries sun, if it says that. And it makes perfect sense just like this map. But if you're not, you know, say you're a Libra, okay, and you have a moon in the 12th house, it could be, remember how these turn like a clock? It could be that your moon is in the 12th house, but in the sign of Sagittarius. And you'll see a number 9, or you'll see the Sagittarius symbol. A lot of people have the symbols on tropical charts. And I'll write that. Anyways, I'm not going to have them all out there. I tried to have some reversed. But a lot of your signs are going to be on the side of your astro chart. So a lot of your signs are going to be different. Anyways, I'm going to work more on this Vedic chart because I really like this. How to reach your chart. Number 1, the moon represents your mind and your heart and your feelings. Moon is the lord of 2 houses, the 2nd house and the 4th house. It rules Taurus and it rules Cancerian. It's more at home with a Taurus than a Cancerian, surprisingly. So really the first choice for the moon to be in is the 2nd house or with the sign of Taurus. That's who he rules. Aries is going to rule, Mars is going to rule Aries and Virgo, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that. Scorpio. Aries and Scorpio. So it rules specific houses that have sudden changes, a lot of different change, a lot of sudden things. Sun is going to rule Leo. Okay. Each sign is represented by a different planet. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So I won't go too much into that either, guys, but I want you to know each planet represents a sign. The planet rules the sign. So when you have your chart, and if you guys do your chart, you're going to see a list of your planets. You're going to see a list of all your planets and what sign they're in. So that's how you're going to tell what house it's in. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I don't want to lose you. I feel like I'm losing everybody because I'm not explaining it right. Let me just calm down here and think clearly. My Mars is in Aquarius in Vedic. Okay, see? And is it in the sign of Aquarius in the 11th house? So you want to check where your Mars is. So if it says Mars is in the sign of Aquarius, what if Mars is in the sign of Aquarius in the 7th house? Or Mars is in the sign of Aquarius in the 4th house? It's going to change what that means for you. I don't know. It doesn't show me the houses, I don't think. Pixie Queen, yeah, we really need to do a Vedic astrology chart. Mine says Mars in Scorpio, like tropic. Okay, so I wish I could see your guys' charts, damn it. How am I going to best explain this? Okay, I know it looks reverse. I should have done it reverse because you guys are seeing it in a mirror image. The 4th house is here, but it looks like 10th house for you and vice versa. Because the way I look at it is 4 here, 10 here. But it's reverse for you guys, so it's frustrating me. I should have done reverse. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what I mean. These numbers on this chart represent the houses and the signs, okay? The 4th house, the sign of Cancer. This is for an Aries ascendant. Somebody who has a sun in Aries or a rising in Aries, this is how your houses are going to look. The signs in every house. But let's just, I'll use my chart, for example, okay? I'll just say, I'll use my chart. My rising sign is Sagittarius. So in my first house is the number 9, Sagittarius. So in my first house, it's the number 9. And I know by the number 9, it's Sagittarius. In tropical astrology, this is always your first house right here. I'll mark it in black. Okay, which is actually right here, reverse for you guys, but you're seeing it, damn, in reverse. So your first house is normally right positioned right here, if you were to look at your chart. But it's in the first house right here. That is where the first house always starts. Just like the first house always starts at the top in Vedic astrology. The first house always starts at the top. In Vedic, it's the top. In tropical, it's right there. That's the difference between the both of them. How to tell the houses. Whenever you're born, numbers are going to change through the houses. It means signs are going to change. Okay? So since I have Sagittarius in my rising sign, my second house is going to be Capricorn. My third house is going to be Aquarius. My fourth house is going to be Pisces. My fifth house is going to be Aries. My second house is going to be Taurus. My seventh house is going to be Gemini. My eighth house is going to be Cancerian. My ninth house is going to be Leo. My 10th house is going to be Virgo. My 11th house is going to be Libra. And my 12th house is going to be Scorpio. I don't want to talk about other people's charts, so I'm fine talking about mine. But do you see how I have two different sets of numbers now? And if you don't want to see these numbers, sometimes it's just the sign. You might just see the sign in that house. But if you're looking at Vedic, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see numbers, two different sets of numbers. And that's what it means. The numbers really just represent the houses. The number 3 is Gemini. The number 4 is Cancerian. So each of them just represent the house. So if you're looking at your Vedic chart and you see, oh my gosh, I see these triangles and I see 2 sets of numbers in each house. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the number right in the middle. That is going to be your sign in that house. But you have to know the houses 1 through 12. You have to know what represents what to realize what those numbers mean. Okay? But I've already listed them for you guys. So anyways, okay, I have Gemini in the 7th house of relationships. This is going to be the house of marriage, partnerships, your work life, how people see you, how you have friendships. This is going to be how you interact with the world. This is how you look to the world. This is how you act with the world. And this is how you see the world towards you. Your friends, family, workers, your spouse. How do they look to you? What are they like to you? It's going to be represented by that sign. So since my sign is Gemini in the 7th house, Example, it means I'm going to communicate a lot. And I guess this is where I should talk about the signs. But Gemini, we'll just skip to Gemini real quick. You're going to talk a lot. You're going to want to socialize through social media, through phones, through text, through writing. You're going to want to be into writing books. You're going to want to be into being a teacher. You're going to want to communicate with people. You have no problem communicating what's in your heart, what's in your mind. So Gemini, you're definitely going to have a dual personality because sometimes you're going to want to be alone. Sometimes you're going to want to be around a lot of other people. So, Pixie Queen, what is confusing, honey? You're so confused. Uh-oh, I don't want to lose you guys. Okay, what does Rahu and Ketu mean? Okay. Vishka Nakshatra Scorpio, ascendant first house. Pluto is in the first house. I don't know who you are, Afrosense, but I'm going to tell you one thing. In tropical astrology, the new moon is in the sign of Viksha, the nakshatra. And the new moon is in Scorpio in tropical astrology. You are very, 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 very impacted by this new moon. It's going to change your life in some way. This is falling right into line to who you are. So I just want to give you a special message for you. This new moon is really going to impact your life. It's going to be a fork in the road. Okay? Anyways, I don't want to lose you guys. I'm going to talk about Rahu Ketu in a minute. I don't want to go into the chart because it looks like I went way ahead and I didn't get to explain the basics. So let me explain the basics. Okay? The houses are all represented by a sign. Each sign represents a position in life. The first house represents yourself. This is you, who you are, how you look to other people. The second house is going to represent your support, your family, your job, and your food, and the way you communicate to the world, your speech. If you're mute, how it's going to affect you, how big of a dramatic thing it's going to affect your life if you can't talk to people. So the mouth and the tongue are represented in the second house. So that's going to be your support. Then the third house represents how you communicate to the world. How do you come across to other people? The third house is also represented by siblings, brothers, sisters. Okay, all your siblings, your younger siblings, I want to point that out. Your younger siblings are represented in the third house. This is how you communicate also. If you're very successful with computers or business technology, it's going to be seen right here in the third house. The number 3, the Gemini, and the third house are the same thing. They follow you. So if you have Gemini somewhere, you're going to be very communicative. How I had Gemini in the 7th house, very communicative. Technologically, I'm going to speak and interact with people through computer, through technology, through texting, which I am right now. That's part of my sign. But see, you can see these things in your house. My brothers died when I was young. Is that why? Well, what's in your third house? And it got stuck on me again. Are you kidding me?